All right. Welcome to proofs. Okay, we are starting with triangle congruence is what this chapter is about. First day, it's all about just how are things congruent. Okay, definition of congruence. Definition of congruence is if all the angles and all the sides are congruent, then the figures are congruent. Crazy, right? You can slide it, you can turn it, you can flip it, you can do all kinds of stuff to it, but if the sides and the angles are congruent, then the figures are congruent. Got it? Yeah. Not so bad? All right, so the order is important. Okay, you've got to go corresponding angles and sides with what is congruent. Okay, so if we look at A, B, C, D, okay, it is congruent to A goes with E, so E, F, G, H. So it's got to go in the order of what is congruent. Okay, and based off of the congruent statements, you can tell what sides and what angles are congruent. Okay, so even if they don't look like they're congruent, there's one in your assignment today where the triangles don't look anywhere near congruent. Okay, but you can base it off of your congruent statement. Because if A, B, C, D is congruent to E, F, G, H, A is going to be congruent to E, B is going to be congruent to F, C, N, G, and D, N, H. Yep, because they have to be corresponding like that. If you want to look at sides, side AB is going to have to be congruent to EF, because the first two letters. Okay? If we use the first letter and the last letter, so AD would be congruent to EH. Okay, does that make sense? Good. Because if it didn't, we were in trouble. All right, this one's kind of hard to see a little bit, but we will talk about it. Okay, what we can do is we can take this and turn it like that, I believe. No, how did we do this? This is turned like that. So, what? Okay, so let's talk about this. Angle K is going with angle. Okay. Get it? Okay. Angle H is going with angle L. Angle I is going with angle M. And angle N goes with angle J. Okay, so based off of that, let's make our congruent statement. Plane H, K, J, I is congruent to quadrilateral. What did we say went with H? L, O, J and N, I, N, M. We get into a little bit more than just this. Okay, corresponding sides, I think we're good on that. Let's look at this one for corresponding sides. Oh, I don't want to look at that one. Okay, we can. Okay, so just based off of my congruent statement, angle P goes with angle E, CD goes with NO, B goes with M, ML goes with what? BA. BA, yep. Oh, that's my nickname. CB, AET, okay, goes with no. N. N, M, L, PO, okay. All right, so we're given our congruence statement. Okay, so based off of that, angle W is congruent to angle M. Angle Y is congruent to angle. Okay, and angle S is congruent to angle V. Okay, so then if we're going sides, we can go first two letters. So WY is congruent to MK. So first two letters. YS is going to be congruent to KV. And then I always do first and last. So WS is congruent to MV. So far, so good, right? Please tell me we get this. All right, third angle theorem. Okay. All third angle theorem says is if I have two angles of a triangle that's congruent to two angles of another triangle, their third angles have to also be congruent. Okay? So if A is congruent to D and B is congruent to E, a third angle theorem tells us that C is congruent to F. Okay? So if you've got two angles of a triangle, you also have the third angle that is congruent. All right. You always start with what? The given. So we can fill in 4 of them right away. LM is congruent to LO, given. MN is congruent to ON, given. Angle M is congruent to angle O, given. Angle MLN is congruent to angle OLN, given. Now, usually when I write these proofs, and when you guys write these proofs, I just put that all into one step. So I just write all 4 of these things and write one given. So I don't have to write given 4 different times. Okay? So totally up to you. If you want to, you can go ahead. Okay? Now, let's take a look at our triangle. Do we have 2 angles of our 2 triangles? Yep. Okay, so if we've got 2 angles congruent, what else are we going to have?
3.
We can have our third angle. So angle MNL is congruent to what? No. MNL is this guy. Is congruent to ONL. I also almost always mark up my picture like that. Okay, my diagram. Okay, what else? Okay, so definition of congruence tells us that all the sides and all the angles have to be congruent, right? Okay, so what are we missing? We have 2 sides. We have 3 angles. What am I missing? Okay, we need all the sides to be congruent and all the angles to be congruent. I have 3 angles, so I have all the 3 angles. I have 2 sides, so what am I missing? Another side, yeah, because we need all 3 sides. Okay? So, time out. Why was this congruent?
Third angle.
Third angle theorem. Okay, so we need a third side. What side do we not have congruent? This one, right? Can I say that it's congruent? I can't? Because it's what? Isn't it the same line? Okay, so I can say that Ln is congruent to Ln, and anytime you have a shared side like that and you mark them congruent to itself, it is the reflexive property. Okay, think of it as a reflection of itself. Okay, if something's congruent to itself, that is the reflexive property. Reflexive, that's what's written up there. Okay, my last step is always, what am I trying to prove? So triangle LMN is congruent to triangle LON. Why are they congruent? No, has nothing to do with transitive. Do we have all three angles? Do we have all three sides? So if everything is congruent to everything, that is the definition of congruence. Okay, because we talked about that's the definition of congruence. If all the angles are congruent and all the sides are congruent, that's my definition of congruence. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, this is what the rest of the quarter is going to be, guys, is proofs. Okay, that's why I said welcome to proofs. Okay, next semester is all formulas and stuff like that. Okay, so, hey, we're not done. Okay, we're looking at this one. Okay, NP-LM is congruent to EF-GH. Okay, so we need X. So if we have PN, what's PN congruent to? FE. So FE is 10, right? LM goes with...
Wait, how are you figuring that out?
FGH.
Well, because PN is 10, and it's congruent to FE. Okay, so GH over there is going to be what? Just 8, right? 8 meters. So, boom, can we find X? Yeah, we can write that out. We've got 2X minus 3 equals 8. So 2X equals 11. X is...
5.5.
Thank you. Okay, to find Y, we need E, right? And what's E congruent to? N. And N is 72. So 7Y plus 9 equals 72. 7Y equals 63. Y is... Okay. You also need to know how many degrees are in a triangle. How many degrees are in a triangle?
80.
Yes. It's because you guys did so well on your test.